All right. Breakthrough School. This is your opportunity to ask me whatever you like, get clarification, get direction, get motivation, and it'll also be a time for me to answer questions that were asked inside the group. Speaking of which, this is for everyone. If you have a question and you want to know, ask the question here. Put question mark first. Question: how much should I eat each day? Now here's the fun part. Ask the question. Boom. How much should I eat each day? Should I eat 1,000 calories or 2,000 calories? All right, now watch this. Here goes. This is the part I want you to know. Go to the part where it says Breakthrough School Questions. And that way I can find the questions really easily and I know where to look to answer them. So make sure you put it in Breakthrough Questions. That was just added. And that way each week I will go and look at all the breakthrough questions. And if there's a question you've asked in the past, recategorize it as breakthrough questions. That way I can answer them. All right, besides that, in case, I'm going to mute. If you're not muted, please mute yourself, everybody, because there's little sounds coming and I get very distracted by sound. Cindy Witt, I see you, but I don't see you. But thank you for joining. And thank you, Stephanie. Thank you, Michelle. Glad we're all here. Okay, if you don't spend time in the classroom, and I will tell you, I know you do, Stephanie. Yes, you do. First, you go through Start Here. Easy peasy. Takes about 5 minutes. Then, there's the whole 30-day Belly Fast Blast Challenge, which a lot of people started, but very few have finished. Make sure you tell me your email because for some reason school is not zapping them to my email provider and I don't have your emails. So just give it to me again. That way I can send you resources. And by the way, when you finish a section, means you understand it, you got it, good. Check it off. That way I know you've done it. Because I like to see who's going through what. And I always prioritize questions and comments from people who are doing something, like taking action. So not only consume it, learn it, use it, and then click it off so I know you're done. Now, what you may not have known is that as you get more points and level up, you unlock the resource library, which I'm adding another resource tomorrow. I'll be adding a resource at least every 2 weeks. So more come in there. This is a place for you just to make a donation. $5 goes to me and to school and to paying the bills, and $5 goes to No Kid Hungry. So far, not a very impressive donation total. But maybe people don't know about it, or maybe people just don't like to do it. But if you want to, there it is. All right, these are all the replays from videos we've done live in the group, where you can watch them, review them, see them again and again. Don't have to look for them. But here's where it gets interesting. This is the whole GH Fast advantage from a general viewpoint. If I never talked to you, I didn't know anything about you, and you want to do it all on your own, this is how you would do it. It is not personalized for any of you, but it tells you the science and it tells you how to do it. This is universal principles. These are spiritual laws, universal laws, taken from every spiritual text, from the Hermetic principles, the Stoic principles, the Bible, the Tao Te Ching, which is the Book of Zen, a lot. And I've compiled universal principles that apply not only to day-to-day living, but to quantum mechanics. Breathwork and alignment practice, how to breathe to achieve different things, and how to do your alignment practice depending on the situation. These are under construction and will be added soon. Remembering your purpose, important one. Conscious alignment, this is basically inner alignment, and then the science of spirituality. This one is an onboarding if you become a one-on-one client. This is a paid course where you pay $34. You get all of that information. You get access to live things. You can check it out if you like it. But this is what I'm most excited about. This is my dream. This is what I've been doing this for 25 years. These are, it's a breakthrough process. It's a 8-month program with 3 phases that takes you through all the phases. These are the only paid things. Everything else is absolutely 100% free. So this is truly the place where you can get the information and the guidance 100% free. But if you want one-on-one personalization guidance every step of the way, then you have that option too. But enough about my dream come true, which, by the way, quantum breakthrough, the quantum spiritual connection, is the thing I have been most passionate about my whole entire life, but I've been scared to death to put it out there because everybody wants weight loss. But guess what? Almost everyone who loses weight either doesn't lose it at all or they gain it back. It's because the inner shift doesn't happen. Now that I've got science to back me up, I am fearlessly trudging forward. All right, speaking of fearless, make sure you ask questions in the group. That way I can support you. And if you've already asked one and I didn't see it, I apologize. I'm going to be much better at organized because now people can put them in the right category. Is everybody with me so far? Give me a nod if you're on. Okay, we're all so far so good. All right. My inner alignment is way out of whack. I've been hiding from the inner problem for years, and now I'm in therapy trying to get aligned. I love to know more. I'd love to tell you because here's what took me many rehabs, many unfortunate life events to figure out. And even when I gained my 20 pounds after the divorce, and because you get off drugs and alcohol, you decide to go to food. Learning about this firsthand has been really powerful, but learning about it from an epigenetic, quantum, spiritual, neuroplasticity, and energetics, body energy standpoint has been even more helpful. Okay. We have 5 levels. I take that back. Make it very simple. 3 levels. Now, whether you call God, Source, the universe, Jesus, Yahweh, the tree, higher power, the name doesn't matter. In fact, sometimes when we give it a name, it messes it up. So I refer to the 5D as God. Get over defining it. But you can call it whatever you want. Just know that in quantum mechanics, this is the subatomic realm. This is where energy is so small and so fast, they live in discrete packets called quanta. That's why prayer works. Prayer dictates quanta. Quanta is a real thing. Quanta is a discrete packet of energy. Everything is a quanta before it becomes physical. So everything in the physical plane exists first in the quantum plane. This is where our level of consciousness can impact our experience. This is where our ultimate blueprint exists. So say let's call your creator. Your creator designed every one of us to have a very purposeful, healthy blueprint. Mentally, emotionally, physically, and it's designed for one thing, to carry out our purpose on this planet. Now, with our purpose comes desires, things we just want and we're very interested in. This is mine. This is my purpose. Like, I cannot learn enough about it. It comes quickly to me. The information just keeps pouring at me. Like, when I need something, it's there. When I need proof of something, it's there. So, your desires, different than your cravings, different than the things you want, different than material things. Your desires, my desires, they were programmed into us from our Creator. Your quantum blueprint has everything you need to be physically healthy, mentally, spiritually, financially, relationship, all of it. Now here's the thing. Okay, and I mute you again. Boom. All right. Now we have this layer. This is called the 5D. Call it God, call it the universe, call it source. A lot of people call it source. You can't see it. You'll never ever be able to see it. In fact, just to see a speck of it, the little quantas, takes multi-million-dollar laser technology in quantum physicist labs. But they can measure it, and that's why this is true. Now the 3D world, this is where everyone's hanging out. This is your physical body. This is every cell, every organ, every limb. It is your blood. It is everything that's physical. It's the trees. It's rocks. It's your bed. It's your dog. It's your bathroom. Everything that you can touch with your hand, see with your eyes, smell with your nose, taste with your mouth, or hear with your ears is 3D. We are spending most of our attention and focus in the 3D world, in our 3D lives. How do I look? What am I going to wear? What kind of car do I drive? What does my house look like? I am not the spiritual teacher that's going to ever tell you that the 3D world doesn't matter. It matters. It matters because it's where we're living. And it sucks if your life situation sucks. Like, this is our life situation. We don't want a crappy 3D situation. We don't. So I am never once going to tell you that it doesn't matter. But here's what I will tell you. In between the 5D and the 3D, this is where we can pay attention and make immediate changes. The 4D realm is pure energy. It's the energy of your thoughts. Now, thoughts are energetic, plus they're physical with neurotransmitters. It's your hormones. It is your beliefs. It is your emotions. And in fact, I would say your emotions, your self-concept, the way you see yourself, the way you feel about yourself, the way you perceive the world, your perceptions. Oh boy, sometimes, this reminds me of when I was a teacher writing on the whiteboard. Sometimes it's hard to spell. Your perspective, there we go. Just gotta do it slower, get excited. Your perspective and your feelings, your thoughts. Now here's an interesting one. Actions can kind of go over into both worlds because there's thinking actions and there's physical actions. But the reason every single human on this planet self-sabotages, backslides, relapses, falls off the wagon, fails when things are going well, falls short when they know they could have done it if they just would have tried harder, is because of the 4D inner alignment being off. If you've ever lost weight and gained it all back, if you've ever been in a great relationship and it went sour, if you've ever been so close to achieving a goal and just fell short, if you suffer from depression, anxiety, PTSD, addiction of any kind, compulsive habits, join the club. The number is going up and up and up and up every year. If you struggle with your weight for years and years and years, it's not your hormones, though they're related. It's not the amount you work out, though it's related. It's not even the food you eat, though it's related. It is your inner alignment, your self-concept of yourself, And not just your conscious thinking. Your conscious thinking you can navigate and change. It is the programs, the beliefs, the perspectives, the past traumas, the past pain, the past failures, the memories that all create this filter. When the message comes in from the 5D, it gets distorted through the 4D, and it's manifesting in the 3D, coming out. Manifest just means made physical. It's coming out in the 3D in an unhealthy way. That's why some people do everything right. They do their fasting. They eat the protein foods. They do the exercise. They get 8 hours of sleep. They do their alignment practice. But they don't lose the weight. It's because the inner alignment is off. And here's the thing. This has a direct impact on hormones, on neurochemistry, on cells, and on metabolic dysfunction. Because if you've heard of the word epigenetics, here's where this gets very fun. This layer between 4D and 3D, between the part of you that is thoughts, feelings, emotions, self-concept, perspective, and your actual physical body, this layer right here, where the change happens, this is where epigenetic shifts happen. This inner alignment alters your DNA. It alters your DNA. Only 5% of your DNA is permanent. The other 95% is wide open to interpretation. So you can literally turn on the cancer gene with stress. You can turn on the obesity gene with stress. And stress is just a fancy word for fear. If you spend all day in fight or flight, your inner alignment is jacked. There's no way around it. If you do a lot of other things right, then perhaps you kind of even out a bit sometimes. So when you're aware that your inner alignment's out of whack, you are winning. Just becoming aware, awareness is your number one first step to the solution. Become aware. At any given moment of the day, ask yourself, how am I feeling in my physical body right now? How am I feeling in my emotional body right now? What thoughts am I thinking? You will find that you're repeating a lot of the same repeat thoughts again and again, feeling a lot of the same memorized emotions again and again, and you're in this constant state of rushing or worrying or fight or flight of some type or stressing. Your body feels like you're in danger, so it shuts down the healing. It shuts down fat burning. It goes into a protective state. And we're telling it to do so with our thoughts, our old beliefs, and memorized feelings. So awareness of what's going on, that is your thought and emotion inventory, is number one. Number two, discernment. Discerning what is aligned with your purpose and true self and what is not aligned. What is past programs, what is fear-based. Those are the first two steps. I am telling you this, everyone. If you just become aware, and that's the only thing you do, if all you do is become aware of it, you are 5 quantum steps ahead. But this means paying attention to the things and feelings and thoughts that seem so familiar, so comfortable, so normal, but yet it makes your body and emotional body feel bad. Our bodies aren't designed to feel bad. Our emotional state's not meant to feel stressed and scared. Our mind is not meant to be racing. Our mind is a tool that, when focused, we can do things with. It's not meant to be all over the place all the time, jumping from this thing to that thing. What do I have to do after this? Like, if any of you are making your to-do list of what you're going to do right when this is done, that's the racing mind. If you have an ongoing to-do list throughout the day of all the things you must get done by the end of the day, instead of focusing on the one thing you're doing at that time, which is now being, you're creating a stress situation in your inner body. So the 4D is your inner body. It's your inner energy. It's your alignment. And this is the part that we can do something about right now, every day. So to the person who wrote this, awesome job. You know that your inner alignment is not where it needs to go. And therapy can work great for some people. Didn't work for me. 12-step programs didn't work for me. Hypnosis, not so much. For me, it was ongoing, moment-to-moment awareness of what was going on in my body and my emotion, and doing something about it every time it came up. Literally reprogramming the way I thought about things and the way I emotionally reacted to things, and realizing that you don't have to keep repeating the same program. They are so familiar and so comfortable, they keep repeating automatically until we become aware of them. Whatever cause of suffering you are experiencing, shifting your inner alignment and aligning it with your quantum, spiritual, true, authentic self is a key step to alleviating the suffering. Any questions about inner alignment and what it is and the first two steps? Well, I'm going to give you 3 steps. The moment you notice this is not a thought that's helping me, this is not a thought that is moving me closer to my purpose, this is not a thought that's aligned with my true self. The moment you notice that, that's called discernment. You're discerning. Aligned, not aligned. That's what your brain's for. Discern. The moment you do it, you create space and R3 it. Create space. And you have to use your breath to create space. Creating space is an action. I want to yell this out loud, but it'll scare Rocket. Don't just take this information and let it set in because it makes sense. Don't. You must practice these actions. This will not work unless you practice, 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 practice. And it will 100% work if you do. So, aware what's going on in my thoughts, what's going on in my body, what's going on in the way I'm feeling right now. Discerning, is this aligned, not aligned? The moment you realize it's working against you and not for you, don't analyze it, don't judge it, don't wonder where it came from. It's a program, it's there. Where it came from can be revealed later. You don't have to go back to your childhood to figure out where they all came from. You just need to know the program's affecting you now. And as soon as you're aware of it, discern it as not helpful, not aligned, or helpful, aligned. And if it's not aligned, create space with intentional breathing. You literally breathe in through your nose, aggressively, like angrily almost, like fill up your whole diaphragm, breathe out slowly. Put your hand on your heart, breathe in again through your nose. Now you're breathing into your heart. Breathe out slowly. And all you're doing is creating space. You recognize it through discernment, you release it with a breath, and you replace it, rescript it, or you reconnect to your soul, your consciousness, your highest power. The third R can stand for a lot of things. Reconnect, rescript, rewrite, revise, release, lots of it. But every time it happens, practice it. And if there's a pattern that keeps coming up, a thought triggering an emotion, that's a click-run program. Your brain's like a computer, and it triggers emotions automatically. Meaning if you click the trigger, the stimulus, the program just runs. And there you are, off to the races. Familiar feelings, familiar actions, familiar results. Okay, so this was a fun one for me to answer. And here I'm going to tell you, everything I'm telling you, you already know. I'm just reminding you. It is already in your infinite wisdom. It is in your infinite intelligence. It's in your universal intelligence. It's there. It's just so many patterns and roadblocks and clogs and past memories are clogging up the connection. But I will never tell you anything that you don't already know on a 5D level. It's just been a while till that information sunk into the 4D. And it's definitely not manifesting in all of our 3D lives. That's where the power statement comes in. Who can tell me the power statement I'm about to write? This is the statement to take all of your power back in 3 words. So you can type it in the chat. You can unmute yourself and say it out loud. When you realize a change is necessary, there are words you're going to say to your subconscious that will make it possible. Who knows the words? Oh, someone typed in the chat. Someone's brave. Whoever it is, I don't even know if you're right or wrong. I applaud your courage. I am choosing to. Yes, 100% right. This is my happy dance because you're happy because you're courageous and because you're paying attention when I teach. Right away, I am choosing to create space. I am choosing to release that thought. I am choosing to get out of bed and put on my shoes and walk. You wake up in the morning, oh, it's too tired, and it's too cold outside, it's dark. No. Create space, breathe out, I am choosing. And choose. And then as you're taking the action, keep repeating, I am choosing. Not I have to, or I must, or I got to. I am choosing. It reprograms your brain, and it empowers you. You switch from being a victim to being empowered. You switch from being a victim of other circumstances to taking full responsibility for your life with the simple words, I am choosing. Now, a lot of spiritual teachers will say, I am abundant. I am wealthy. I am in a loving relationship. Affirmations. I don't believe it works because your subconscious calls bullshit. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Like you have this argument. But if you say I'm choosing, that means you're choosing to take the actions to get there. Your subconscious says, yeah, okay, that's happening. And it believes you. And you start a process of neuroplasticity of disempowering the old programs and empowering the truth, which is you are choosing. So good job, Stephanie. Oh, I love this one right here, but I want to get to this one. This one is a science question, pretty much. GH fasting is science, pure science, physiology. And it works for every single person on the planet. Fasting with intention is science and spirituality combined. But let's say you don't care about all this quantum and 5D and 4D and alignment. I just want to know what to do. Okay. Or say you do care, but you also want to know what to do. Thomas Miller, during my phase 2 TEP this week, can I do a 36-hour fast, or is it better for me to eat my daily calories at 1200? I checked out what she was talking about, and she is already at the GH fast advantage. Am I right, Stephanie? Yes. And she went to phase 2. And she looked at her first TEP, and she chose aggressive. Boy, those little meal plan right there. If you go down more, boy, I think I'm going to take those transcripts out. So I will tell you that this is 100% generalized. I didn't make this for you, Stephanie. Part of it will apply. And your question is it better for me to eat my daily calories at 1200? You are already further along than phase 2. You're already done your first GH fast. Phase 2 is for people who haven't done a GH fast yet. So yes, keep doing your 36-hour fast once a week. Because after you get there, like the phases, because these phases are all built. That's the wrong place. These are all built. When I transport it from one place to the other, there'll be 7 phases. And phase 4 is your first GH fast. So technically, you're ahead of the game because we did that fun fasting in the group. You kind of have your own personal plan. So, for you, Stephanie, 1 GH fast a week. 1 GH fast a week. You do not need to go past 36 hours yet. Go 36 to 42, no more. Unless you're feeling it and you feel great, then keep going. The day after your GH fast, do 7-hour eating. Now, this is very important. The day after that, do a 10-hour eating window, at least 8 to 10. Get all your protein in. A lot of people shoot themselves in the foot because they do long fasts, but they don't do the refeed day. Or they don't eat proteins on the day before they're fasting. And then they don't lose weight. If you don't refeed the amount of calories your body needs, especially the protein, and you don't get on once a week, your fasting is going to have minimal benefits. But if you refeed, and then on the other days, you do a 7-hour eating window, and you eat till you're 80% full, you will lose 1.5 pounds a week, perhaps 2, of fat. Now here's the great thing, and why I feel like I am going to provide something awesome to as many people that I can reach out to and help. I understand hormone metabolism. I understand metabolic dysfunction. I understand neurotransmitters. I understand releasing trauma. And I understand quantum science and spirituality. And now when we put them all together, there's a solution for everyone. They are all connected, but the most important thing is your inner alignment. Because when you have inner alignment, when your thoughts, your feelings, your beliefs, and your programs align with your true purpose, your true self, fasting is easy. Everything you do is easy. Saying no to the pizza when everyone around you is eating it is effortless. But when you're not aligned, the old programs are still pulling you. You have to use willpower and discernment and creating space. But don't use willpower. Instead, don't fight it. The good wolf, bad wolf, don't fight the bad wolf. Just acknowledge it. Say, ha ha ha, there you are. There's that program. Discern, become aware, create space, R3 it, and I am choosing to. Stephanie, did that answer your question? Go ahead and unmute yourself.
Yes, thank you. It did.
Oh.
Appreciate it. I don't feel like I have. I guess I'm getting aligned because I don't feel like I have a problem fasting. You know, like I don't feel hungry. I don't feel miserable. You know, and like, oh God, I need to eat something. I don't feel that way. It feels pretty easy. I'm actually thinking of going to one meal a day because I can technically skip. I'm like I stop fasting at 1, and my last meal is before 5. I technically could stop eating at 1. I mean, I could not eat at 1. I can go further than that.
So one day, have 2 meals. One day, have 1 meal. Alternate back and forth. Don't do it every day.
Okay.
Because you won't get enough protein and you won't burn fat.
Okay.
You can do 1 meal every other day, a GH fast, and then 1 refeed day of 8 hours. That will work for you. So 2 meals, 1 meal, 2 meals, 1 meal. And you know what? This may not work for the rest of you. But from Stephanie and the way her body shifts, her body knows how to shift already. It shifts very easily from the sugar tank to the fat tank. So she can have a more aggressive protocol and stick with it. And how many, I mean, you probably have already lost fat. How many pounds have you lost already?
Like 6 pounds in, I don't know, a week and a half or close to 2 weeks. 6.5 pounds.
Yeah.
Inch and a half off my waist.
You have taken advantage of the free materials more than anyone has in years. You really have. You've dug in and just used them. So good for you. And you ask questions, you take action, you're going through the course, you're participating in the group. Now, remember the number on the scale is just a number. It's data. Better data is taking a picture of yourself every other week or every week, front facing and side facing. And if you can, have someone take it of your back with a sports bra on, because the way the fat folds happen tells me a lot about if you're losing body fat or if you're losing muscle or the combination, or if you need to actually add carbs in. There's a lot. The pictures matter more than the weight on the scale, because with fasting, with alignment, gluconeogenesis is the process of converting fat into glucose for your muscles and organs. It requires a lot of water. Without water, it doesn't happen, and you get headaches, you feel sluggish and everything. So that means after fasting, sometimes people won't lose a single pound because their waters are so hydrated, their cells are so hydrated that it's going to disperse. And next thing you know, 4 days later, I just dropped 5 pounds. They're like, what happened? It's just the way different bodies work. Because when you shift, you're having a metabolic shift in your body. It shifts, your metabolism completely shifts over to a different system, and water becomes so imperative that if there's not enough, it's not converting the fat into energy quick enough, it's not creating ketones quick enough, and people feel miserable. They get headaches, they feel lethargic, and it's because they didn't hydrate enough the day before and the day of.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So you have an assignment. And I see you encouraging people, keep doing that. I want you to answer questions. When people are asking about fasting and you see a question, I want you to answer it. You are a shifter. You are great at metabolically shifting. And yes, it will be different for everyone. All you have to do is, in my experience, and share your answer. And if you're absolutely wrong, I'll correct you, because I visualize a community where everyone goes into questions and they answer questions that you know how to answer. Because when you teach someone else, you learn it better.
Mm-hmm.
When you encourage someone else, you encourage yourself. So you have that assignment. You are now a certified shifter.
Awesome.
Yeah. The way you shift. So continue doing the custom plan we just built for you, and continue listening to your body, and continue. And now start taking pictures if you haven't already. And I got to say, for you, the alignment practice where you're shifting your self-concept, you're shifting your identity from that person who used to be unhealthy, had an accident, was had trouble losing fat. You no longer identify with those old memories. Those are memories.
Right.
Right now is what matters. Identify with who you're becoming at this moment, and remembering your authentic blueprint that exists, and aligning with that and becoming that. And here's how you do it. During your alignment practice, it's not a long, hour-long meditation where you clear your mind. No, it's very active. Visualize your thin self, or just force yourself, teach yourself to feel as if you are physically healthy. How does your body feel? How does your body look? How does your feel it? And it feels joyful. When your desires are fulfilled, it feels joyful. So practice feeling joy while you visualize your identity. And it shifts your inner alignment. Visualizing by itself does not work. You must have the vision of what you want and the feeling to go along with it.
Okay.
Because if you lose a bunch of weight, but you don't shift your inner alignment, your inner self-concept, I hate to tell you, it'll be temporary weight loss.
Mm-hmm.
But if you shift your inner alignment while you're taking these actions, it'll be accelerated fat loss and health. Guaranteed.
Okay.
And that's where two words come in. Faith, belief. Faith means completely trusting in something you can't see. That's quantum mechanics. We will never be able to see quanta. We'll never be able to see what's happening in the quantum field. But it's happening. I mean, we can't even see what's happening in our cells. But it's happening. We can't see the electrical current travel through the wires and turn on the light. But it happens. It's easy to have faith that when you flip on the switch, the light's going to come on. It's easy to have faith that when you turn the key in your car, especially if you have a newer car, it's going to start. But it's harder to have faith than when we are conscious of our feelings and our thoughts and our beliefs, and we insist on staying aligned with what we desire and our intention instead of the old things as before. It's hard to have faith that that's doing something. I'm here to tell you it is. From an epigenetic standpoint, a neuroplasticity standpoint, and a quantum mechanics standpoint. And quantum mechanics, if I say quantum, I mean spiritual. If I say God, I mean source. They're all synonymous to me. I do not discriminate. Whatever your religious, spiritual beliefs are on, yes, you're right. Now believe it and use it to your advantage. Everyone's right. There is a higher power. The only thing they could possibly be wrong about is that higher power is love and light. It does not want us to kill each other over it. Doesn't even want us to fight about it. It just wants us to align and carry out our purpose. This is what it's about, everyone. This is what it's about. It's about aligning with your true self and carrying out your purpose. Okay. You can't make a person with a disability able-bodied. I've tried. I'm still trying, but there are some things beyond our control. There are some issues that arise with the body that are too much to overcome. Purely physical things. Then on the emotional load those things bring, yes, I understand the emotional part can be changed with the right skills. I will never be the person I was before the accident. That is my real problem. First, the awful constant pain, then the guilt over what was lost, career, financial security, health. You can head in a better direction. The direction is not going to overcome purely physical limitations. I can answer this two ways. The mean way, the uncaring, uncompassionate way, is to say, okay, you're right. Okay, you're right. Next. But I don't have the heart to be that guy. Instead, I'm going to say, focus on what you can control. The first thing you can control is guilt. Guilt is toxic and it kills. Guilt is a lower frequency energy than stress. Guilt is making people sick. It is causing metabolic dysfunction. It's causing so many issues. Guilt is a decision. It's a hard decision to stop making, but guilt is a decision. Now, here's my remedy for guilt. You have the past, you have the future. And right here in the middle, you have the only thing you can control. Right now. Guilt exists from memories of the past and applying judgment to those memories. Worry exists for using your imagination to create a icky scenario in the future. None of them are true. Guilt is a past memory with judgment attached to it that keeps playing again and again and again. Now I want you to notice this shape. It might look familiar to some religious symbols. It absolutely is. Because the further you get away from the now being, back into the past, the less authentic power you have. The further you try to venture into the future, away from the now being, the less authentic power you have. The only time, the only thing, the only space you ever have any control over is right there, now being. So any reminiscing about the past, with the exception of the one time you analyze it and learn the lesson from the loss, that's definitely necessary. And maybe make amends if you did something that hurt others. But after that's done, it is your spiritual quantum purpose responsibility to let the guilt go. Now here's the other thing. Down here, there's stress, there's anger, there's guilt, there's shame. If you're feeling guilt and shame from something in the past, you're way, way far away from authentic power. Authentic power is right there. That's the only time we have any power to change our lives. Only time, only space. But if you're down here on the energy scale in guilt and shame land, by the way, I'm an authority on this because I have spent lots of time there and did everything else right, working out, doing this, saying prayers, all this stuff. But you know what? My life still kept sucking. It was because my inner energy, my inner alignment was still in guilt land. Oh, I'll be declining that call. So be aware. Am I in my now being or am I in guilt and judgment? Now here's where it gets good. Right here, this level, this baseline, that's acceptance. So if you're just in acceptance, I accept that it happened, I accept that it sucked, and I accept that I'm now focused on I'm choosing to be now being. Right above acceptance is gratitude. Right above that, joy. Right about that is inspiration, excitement. And right here is what I call the highest level of consciousness, and that's light sharing. That's when you become like Jesus, Buddha, Dalai Lama, Muhammad, where you just make life better for people by just being alive. Just your presence, your consciousness is so high that you make the world a better place just by being alive. Because you are just a conduit of energy from your 5D God self into your 4D, out through your physical body. People can feel the positivity when they're around you. That's light sharing. But that means living in the now being. That's all you have to do. You don't have to go back to the past and fix all your trauma. You don't have to go to the future and figure out how everything is going to happen. In fact, those things will hurt you because that's time you're not in the present moment. But spending in the present moment and rising up from acceptance to gratitude to joy to inspiration and light sharing, practicing these emotions, practicing these thoughts, that is the way, my friends. That is a spiritual path. That is a physical path. That is a healing path. So here is something for everyone. Here's your takeaway for today. A special power. It's called UHP2. You have permission to. Imagine that there is a powerful force, all-knowing, all-authoritative, all-love, telling you you have permission to let it go. You have permission to move forward. Because that voice exists, that message exists, but it's in your 5D quantum blueprint. You've just been blocking it. It's there. So write it out. I have permission to, and whatever it is that's bogging you down, write it. I have permission to stop playing small. I have permission to start realizing my potential in this area of my life. But you have to make a deal with your subconscious and give yourself permission from a higher power that exists. You blocked it. When you were a little baby girl and nothing else happened, or a little baby guy, and nothing else had happened, no programs were created, you had permission to be free, happy, and joyful. But all these programs got layered on, all these memories, all these past things. And then we keep telling ourselves the stories and reliving them, and they get more powerful. You have permission to let it go. You have permission to choose differently. We all do. But it means catching yourself when you're going down that path and reminding yourself that you have permission. Forgiveness is a reversal of sin. Forgiveness is giving yourself, and sin, by the way, means missing the mark. The universe, God, your creator, gave you a purpose. And that purpose has nothing to do with playing small or selling yourself short. Nothing at all. Sin just means missing the mark. Missing the mark. And that means acting, thinking, or feeling against yourself. Going against yourself. That's sin. And the removal of sin means giving yourself permission to move forward. God doesn't punish anyone. The universe doesn't punish anyone. We are creating our life situation, and if we feel like we deserve to be punished, we create punishment. But there is not a higher power doling out punishments. I thought so too. Not true. But we are creating this moment and the next moment with the quanta that we are consciously directing. And the higher your level of consciousness is, this is your level of consciousness, by the way. The higher your level of consciousness is, the more desirable your life situation. You have authentic power to create then, instead of being stuck in the old programs. All right, if you hear Rocket, he's picking up the Kong and throwing it because he knows at 6 o'clock it is time to walk. If you have questions, put them in there. Put them in the thing. I am launching, and I'm going to announce this at the end of every session, my dream program. Taking everything I've learned throughout these 25 years of experience, education, and learning from other coaches, and I've broken it into 3 phases. Altogether, it's 8 months, and it's all about integrating your quantum self with your physical health, with your mental health, your alignment, your daily schedule, your daily practice. Yes, there'll be fasting. We continue in phase 2, making sure the body keeps making progress, but now we work on the emotional energetics, releasing past traumas, and embodying alignment means instead of just having information, embodying the information and putting it into action every day. And when I say this, this means you will have a blueprint, a success blueprint written out for you, checking in through the blueprint, chatting back and forth, and each has a desire fulfillment guarantee, meaning we have a certain desire to reach together by the end of it, and I guarantee you do. And the last one, you can't get to 5D until you go through the first 2. That's where you completely tap into your authentic power, your purpose alignment, and your desire fulfilled. It is a 8-month experience, and it covers all of the components. You can achieve a lot with just the free stuff in the group, for sure. I made it that way intentionally. Like, I want to help people even if they never give me a dime. But this is working directly with me and your own personalized blueprint, kind of like I just did with Stephanie. Like if Stephanie needs coaching, she can come on Wednesdays. But eventually, when enough people sign up for this, I won't be able to do the free breakthrough school anymore. But until that happens, I will. And the first 5 people that sign up for it, since this is the dream I've always had, I'm finally doing it. They are going to either get a discount or an extended amount of time. They're going to get a super first 5 bonus. So something to keep in mind. And I'm going to keep talking about it because if I don't keep talking about it, I won't ever launch it. And this is the dream I've always wanted, where it's all incorporated and it's personalized for each individual person. All right. Anybody want to share a takeaway from today? Any questions? I guess poor Rock is such a good boy. Anybody have a takeaway? Anybody have a question? I'm going to definitely post this recording. Anybody want to give me a thumbs up because I got some benefit out of this? Yes, thank you. I still love external validation. Yay. All right, everyone. I'm Coach Tom, most grateful man on the planet, and super grateful to be able to share my experience, my lessons learned along the way, hoping that I can help someone else alleviate suffering and get closer to their true purpose. That's what we're on this planet to do. And I want to help me help you. Wait, there's one more chat. What are the 3 R's again? Oh, great question. Y'all got to be reminding me to check the chat because this is all about answering questions. And by the way, there truly is no bad questions. 3 R's. Number one, recognize it. That means discerning, is that the good wolf or the bad wolf? Number two, release it. Don't analyze it. Don't argue with it. Don't talk about it. Don't say if it's good or bad. Don't judge it. Instantly release it. That's very important. And number three, you can rewrite, can mean rewrite, revise, redirect, or reconnect. Reconnect means you're connecting with your true 5D soul and self. Redirect means you're directing your attention back to now being what you're doing. Revise means you're going to change that story, you're going to change that script. Often it's best to just redirect until you learn how to rewrite. When I work with you one-on-one, I will teach you how to rewrite the old programs. And I'll teach you how to reprogram them. I'm basically certified in cognitive behavior therapy, but there's a better type, quantum behavior therapy. Digging into the 5D. All right, Rocket's so good, patiently waiting. I am grateful I got to coach you. Thank you for asking questions. Keep asking them in the school group, and I will be back next Wednesday to answer them to the best of my ability. And thank you for showing up to the best of your ability. I truly do appreciate you. We're all in this together.
Night.
Good night. Good boy, Rocket. All right, you ready? You ready? Yes, a good boy. You ready? Let's go play. Let's go play. Come on. Let's go play. Yep. We're going. We're going.